Why we kidnapped Buhari's district head suspects. We were trained in Libya on how to disarm security agents, lay ambush against them, says another suspect. By Kingsley Aminabai and Joseph Hirunk. Abuja. 13 suspected kidnappers of the district head of Daura, Alhaji Musa Umar, were among 40 other criminal suspects paraded Monday by the police in Abuja. Force Public Relations Officer, DCP Frank MBA, who paraded the suspects at the headquarters of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, in Guzape, Abuja, said they were picked up at their hideouts at Daura, Katsina State and Kano State respectively by operatives of Operation Puffadder, IGP Intelligence Response Team and Special Tactical Squad. Items such as chemical for production of improvised explosive device, IEDs, AK-47, ammunition, laptops which contained manual on manufacturing of bombs, military uniform and other dangerous weapons were recovered from the suspects. The kingpin of the suspected kidnappers of the Daura monarch, who identified himself as Yusuf Dahiru, speaking to journalists, said their action was informed by the need to get their members in custody of security operatives out through negotiations. Dahiru told reporters that even as the monarch spent 60 days in their den, they didn't maltreat him but accorded him his deserved respect. Dahiru, however, said they carry out the action because they wanted to get the sum of $30 million from the man they considered influential in the president's ancient town. Speaking through an Hausa interpreter, he said, "My name is Yusuf Dahiru. We took Magajan Garin Daura in order to make money. We placed him on ransom of $30 million but no ransom was paid before we were arrested. We have our master who lead us to kidnap the district head of Daura. My master got the job and sent me to go to Daura to kidnap the monarch. My work is only kidnapping. 4 of us went to kidnap the royal father. One of our gang members is from Daura. He was the one who led us in the operation because he knows the area very well. He was the one that led us to the area and he was the one who held the district head for 60 days and took good care of him and gave him everything that he needed. We did not molest him." Another suspect, who identified himself simply as Safut, said, "I met this group about 3 months ago. I was called by the group to accompany them to Daura to kidnap the district head of the area but they told me our aim was to kidnap the royal father so that we can use him to negotiate for the release of some of their members arrested before and are still in the custody of security agencies. But I was surprised that after the kidnapping, they started demanding for ransom." Also, another suspect, Bilia Yusuf, said, "I was the one that negotiated for the ransom. And I was told by the gang's leader, Abdullahi Muhammad, to ask for $30 million but we were not given any money before we were arrested. I am the owner of the Peugeot 406 that was used in the kidnap." Similarly, another suspect, who gave his name as Abdullah Muhammad, a native of Kano, confessed thus, "I was among the gang members that did the video and negotiation for the ransom. We have done 2 kidnappings before this one involving the district head of Daura. Before our arrest, 2 of us involved in this case had undergone training in Libya that lasted 1.5 years. We were trained on how we can fire AK-47 rifles, how we can disarm security agents holding AK-47 rifles as well as laying ambush against security operatives." Speaking earlier, DCP Frank MBA, said the suspects were directly linked with the heinous crime touching on the kidnap of the magician Daura, who was kidnapped and held incommunicado for several weeks. Hear him. Out of the 40 suspects, 13 of them are directly linked with the heinous crime touching on the kidnap of the magician Daura, who was kidnapped and held incommunicado for several weeks. From my analysis of the 13 suspects who were indicted for the kidnap of the district head of Daura, we discovered that following: these suspects consist of persons of diverse states of the Federation and diverse backgrounds. There are all known suspects that you can describe as felon within an active age bracket, with an average age 30. The oldest is 46 and the youngest among them, who incidentally played a key role, is 20 years old. Thirdly, we also discovered in the course of our investigation that there are external collaborators. As a matter of fact, one of the suspects, Mustafa Zakaria, aged 32, is from Niger Republic. And finally, we also discovered that the crime, just like other crimes, was powered essentially by local criminals and local collaborators. He said out of the 13 kidnappers, 5 of them were indigenes of Katsina, but 4 of the 5 live in Daura, adding that the collaboration of insiders made the kidnap of the monarch easier. He explains further: it may interest you to know that out of the 13 suspects, 5 of them are from Katsina State. 4 out of the 5 from Katsina State are specifically from the ancient city of Daura. In the same vein, out of the 13 suspects, 2 are specifically from the beautiful city of Kano, where the district head was rescued from. According to him, the lesson we can draw from this analysis, or one of the key lessons we can draw from this analysis, is the fact that we must work together with the police and other law enforcement agencies in order to keep our communities safe. You could see clearly that it would have been near impossible for any other criminal gang to have perfected this act, clinically executed it the way these guys did, without the active connivance, collaboration and support of other gang members who are not from Daura. In the same vein, it would also have been near impossible for this gang members to have kept this elder statesman in Kano for this long without criminal elements who know and understand the terrain of Kano, he said. Speaking further, MBA said, the import of this is that for any crime that has been committed or being committed, there are local collaborators, and this is where the concept of community policing comes into play, and that explains why the president of this country has clearly given us a matching order to begin to implement the concept of community policing, and also explains why the Inspector General of Police, IGP Muhammad Adamu, is pursuing the full implementation of community policing across the country with unalloyed vigor. We, therefore, want to call on Nigerians to be their brothers' keepers. Be mindful of the people living in your neighborhood. Be interested in knowing your next-door neighbor and what he does for a living. If you are a landlord, you must also make sure that you know who you are renting your house to. We encourage owners of properties in this country to conduct proper vetting and background checks of prospective tenants to be sure that they don't give out their properties to persons who will take over these properties and use them as places for planning or plotting and executing crimes. Looking at Newsman, the force headquarters image makes said, in addition to the suspects we have before you, we have a total of 9 AK-47 rifles recovered within this period under review and 6 other weapons of assorted made. We also have a total of 383 rounds of different ammunition of different calibers, particularly ammunition for the AK-47 rifles. It may also interest you to know that during the operation that led to the rescue of the district head of Daura, We also recovered cache of chemicals used for producing explosives. We also recovered 3 hand grenades. These are grenades of military caliber. These are not smoke grenades. They are not tear gas grenades. These are real hand grenades capable of taking down an entire structure. The explosive chemicals are the ones that must not be exposed unduly to harsh elements. He disclosed that the chemicals will be taken away to the appropriate storage facility. Speaking on the laptop recovered from the suspects, he said, "This laptop, which is still undergoing intensive forensic analysis, we found video clips and other sketches of how to make explosives, IEDs and all kinds of bombs. We also have training manuals for all kinds of terror and very serious criminal operations." MBA reassured the nation, its citizens and visitors into the country of their protection, saying the police under the leadership of the current IGP Muhammad Adamu was committed to their security. "We want to assure the nation, our citizens and visitors to this country of our commitment to continue to do what is right and to continue to collaborate with all the relevant stakeholders in ensuring that our country is made safer and a better place," he said.